Hey.
Hello. No Myrtle. He has study.
No, he is studious.
He is studious though last week.
Last week, he was just sleepy.
he he wanted to take a little tiny nap before wet your plants. He slept through the whole thing. He was too tired.
Well, I support Myrtle being sleepy and getting sleep
Yeah.
because
Well,
he's been through it.
he's recovering. He was recovering from an illness, and he also has to recover his studies from an illness. I mean,
Yeah,
God, it's just it's hard to
final
get
week.
behind this time of year when you're in college. I mean,
And I'm just going to go ahead and blame Myrtle for the nightmare I had last night because it's been so long since I've had the it's finals week and I forgot all my classes and where they
oh
are and what time my
God.
finals are. But I had that dream last night and I think it's because of Myrtle.
When
So
is that dream gonna go away?
I don't know.
I mean, or
I
like
think
I
it's
have the grad school version, like my thesis is due tomorrow and I haven't written a word on it, or like I have to defend my thesis tomorrow and I haven't written my talk. I
I
mean,
think it's such
it
a
never,
high stress situation. We don't even realize how high stress it is in the moment.
yeah,
It's just PTSD.
I think it is. I mean, I did not change my eating one bit writing my thesis, and I put on like 40 pounds.
Mm.
And then as soon as it was done, it just fell
That's
off.
that's
It just
interesting. Did
fell
you
off.
didn't change your activity or either? Like it just was.
No, I mean, I wasn't working out like I usually do, but like I I have never weighed that much ever.
Mm.
And it fell off. So I always tell people like it took 9 months. I gained 40 pounds. The thing weighed 7 pounds when it was done.
So you gave birth to that thesis.
And it was just crazy that the weight just fell off. I lost the weight without really even trying in, I don't know, like 3 months, 4 months. I mean, it just
Well,
fell off. But yeah,
like Zen
Hannah's
just
right.
said, cortisol is a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did not sleep while I wrote it, which I sleep like a normal person, but I would stay up and I would write for like 40 hours straight.
Mm.
And
I, I don't
yeah,
see
I don't
like
do that
I don't think I
anymore.
can do anything for 40 hours straight.
I don't do that. I don't do that either.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I would just I don't know how I did it. It was a terrible time in my life.
Out of
And I don't want to
necessity,
do it
probably.
again.
No, yeah.
I'm not getting a second PhD.
Yeah.
Not happening. So Sky says, I have a question for the doctor in the house.
Dr.
How
Kelly.
many times should a male urinate throughout the day? Well, I think it varies depending on the person. However, if you are suddenly and unexplainedly urinating more than usual, you should get your blood sugar checked because that is one of the signs that you are diabetic.
So what if you're like me and you're just like tethered to water and you drink so much water that you haven't seen yellow urine in a while?
Well,
Like,
if you have an unexplained thirst, like if your thirst changes, like if your thirst can't be quenched, I mean, everybody should get their blood sugar tested every year, regardless.
can you do that at home or do you like need to go to a doctor and get your
No, it's
fasting?
part of your physical,
Mm,
and they'll test your not just your sugar, they'll test your A1C, which is it's a marker for diabetes. Yes, and Zenny also says in your prostate, which is something when you are older in men, it tends to swell. But like if you're peeing a lot and you're thirsty a lot, it is a symptom of diabetes. So because what your body is doing is it's trying to dilute the glucose in your blood.
mm,
So yeah,
okay.
type 1 or type 2.
Well, when I was diagnosed with ADHD in my 20s and started taking medication, that is when I started drinking water all day, every day, like just
Yeah.
nonstop. Always
Well,
have to have water with
yeah,
me.
and different drugs have different side effects, but if you're
Mhm.
not taking a new drug
Right.
and you all of a sudden have like a change in how thirsty you are. Now, like if I don't know, if I were to visit Colorado, okay, I would be thirstier. It's a drier climate.
Mhm.
If you're gonna go to someplace really hot, you're gonna be more thirsty.
Okay, well, that explains all of that.
Ain't it? Like if I go to hot yoga, I come back and I'm more
Mhm.
thirsty. So, you know, that's explainable. But if you can't, then yeah. Yeah, peeing is not an ideal way to wet your plants. Your plants do not your aquarium, don't pee in your aquariums.
Well, is it an ideal way to cycle your tank?
I mean it is ammonia, I
You gotta feed that
guess.
bacteria.
Yeah, but I mean it's kind of hard to dose it. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't pee in your tank. So
Especially if you're
Scotty
giving
says,
them
I
ice
think
cream.
my urination schedule, scroll, hang on, is normal. Couple extra times after coffee and bottled water, but the devil thinks otherwise. I do get blood work done multiple times a year. Well, I wouldn't worry. I mean, maybe you have a smaller bladder than usual. I don't know. I mean,
Mm,
you're not a giant human being. I mean, I don't know. If it's changed, I would worry, but if it's regular for you and you get your blood work done all the time because of your heart. So,
yeah,
yeah.
and yeah,
All right.
interesting.
That's Kelly's medical advice for the day.
All right, and that was no charge for any of that.
People love coming to me for medical advice.
Does anyone like ask you to check a bump or a rash or something like that
Yes.
in places that you don't really want to look?
Yeah, my mother is a registered nurse. She retired from being a nurse after 40 some years and she asked me for medical advice. Why? To be
The
fair,
medical advice should be go to the doctor.
I mean, I do usually tell people to go to the doctor.
It helps.
It does help. I mean, everybody should get a physical once a year, at least, depending on
Mm.
your medications or your condition. You might have to go twice a year or more. But yeah, everybody should go to the doctor every year. If you don't have a doctor you like, find one you like. Don't go to someone who treats you like a dick.
Yeah, it's
You
good
can go to a
advice.
nurse practitioner. I go to a nurse practitioner. But yeah, there we go. Wait, Annette is a doctor now.
Sure, why not?
Nabokov
Well,
fans is my mom's a nurse. She says, get over it. You're fine a lot.
walk it off.
Maybe
You go
yeah.
walk it off. I like sat on my own foot and now it's sprained and it hurts to walk on.
Oh, you hurt your foot.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I'm
can't just like sit in weird
scared.
contorted positions like my kids can. Things
I
get
I can.
sprained.
I can.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you don't have enough external hip rotation, so
I don't know what that is, and I bet I don't. I think you're probably right. I don't have that.
yeah, yeah. It makes it easy to sit with your legs crisscrossed. I think it's how much you can open your hips that way.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Anyways, health chat with Kelly.
Well, so we're in the midst of Secret Santa time, which, as I guess, as a reminder, I think the
Oh,
cutoff is the 15th. If you haven't sent your gift
yeah.
to your recipient,
Mine
they're
went out
supposed to get it.
today because I just finished. I knitted something, so mine went out today. It's supposed to arrive Thursday, so hopefully my person is patient. I have not. Oh, I don't think I've received mine yet, but that's fine.
Hmm.
The cutoff's the 15th, so
Jenna hasn't received hers yet, but I got mine today. Um, and I saw what you knitted, and I think that person's going to be ridiculously excited.
I hope so. And my dad said he wants one too.
Oh god, how
I
long did that take you?
I don't know. I mean, I did have probably a week and a half. Yeah.
But you
I
don't
just
know hours
started.
wise.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, I don't do that either when I'm doing
Yeah,
something like that.
keep track. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, there's only some things that I knit don't hurt my hands much, and
Mhm.
some things do hurt a little more. And I would say this one is a little more painful on my hands. Then, like, I just started a sweater for myself, and it's super relaxing. So,
Nice.
but I mean, Dad wants one, so we
And the
ain't doing
sweater is
something
for
now.
yourself, and since it's like cold up there for the next several months, I think you
Let's
got plenty of time.
go. Let's go. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I figured since I got mine today, I can do an unboxing.
Oh,
The
yeah.
So the
That's
name on
exciting.
the return address is not one that I recognize. So I'm thinking that looking at informed delivery, like when it tells you when packages are coming, it looked like it was from eBay.
That's exciting.
But based on some detective work or just like my own intuition, uh, the other day I heard or I saw in chat that June on the Oscars was concerned that the her Secret Santa recipient package was 2 days late. I look on my informed delivery and it had like there was a delay on something that had coming. Also, whenever I went into her stream the other day, she was like, as soon as she greeted me, she said, "Oh, and I just dropped off or I just ordered the package for my Secret Santa recipient." So I'm going to accuse June of sending this.
I don't know. That'd be exciting. I mean, June says, OMG, he does listen.
Oh, I do. I pay attention.
He
Sometimes I pay attention to like the most mundane, irrelevant things and then miss something extremely vital. But,
well, Stephen knows it's not for me because he knows who I have. So,
yeah. June, you aren't very sneaky. J'accuse.
oh, Jay says his wife is into crochet and she's been doing stuffed animals for Jay his gifts. Crocheters, it is crochet and stuffed animals just go together. It's crochet is great for stuffed animals. Knitting not as good. Knitting is better for garments than crochet. Like crocheted
Mm.
sweaters are kind of bulky, stiff.
So is crocheting is just the kind of yarn that you use, or is there other
And you
techniques
use a
that?
little hook, and it's kind of more
Oh,
that motion. It's just one little hook. Knitting is two needles, and knitting pulls loops through one another, and crocheting are not. So I crochet very little.
so I was one of the little meeks that went through. What is a meek? Went through all the Christmas presents, guessing what is in them. I think some autocorrect, but I did that once for sure, and I got caught. So
You got caught. I haven't even tried to guess. I haven't even tried. Boy's father did crochet and he made a bunch of furniture with it. That's cool.
oh, June does listen too. Because if this was from June, I'm pretty sure it is. Well, look at this. The favorite plant that I love to hate.
Ooh, boy, she sent you a ton of it.
So we got
That
that,
June.
and we
Oh,
got that,
another boost.
and we got that.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know what kind, and typically I don't care because I just kind of combine it all and name it whatever I want because I think you can do that.
Wow, that's
That is
awesome.
awesome.
Is it from you, June?
I,
Confirm.
yeah, I think so. She said he does listen. So
Aw.
So I'm going to preemptively say thank you, June, because this is freaking
Oh, that
great.
is a really nice present, June.
And even though it was delayed, everything looks like it's in perfect condition. So,
That's nice. Oh, she's a good one, that June.
hmm and these will go straight into a CO2 injected tank because if I put Boost anywhere else, it's like come hither all hair algae and spot algae
even
and
even with so my tank I'm tearing down, this horrible tank over here, tearing that down. It's nothing but algae. It has so much boost in it because it's it's been a year with CO2, and even with all the algae, all that boost has grown a ton. I think I'm gonna throw it out. Just gonna get rid of it because it's such an algae magnet, and like I don't want to give it to anyone because like
yeah.
I never want to give people plants that are like that have algae on them, or I don't
Yeah.
want to give people misery, so I think I'm just gonna throw them out.
When I send out plants, like there might be like some strands of hair algae entangled in them that I try to, if there's anything, I try to get all that out first. But like if
Season.
I'm not going to send anything where the leaves are coated with spot algae or something where it's
Yeah.
just a matter of time before those leaves have to be
Yeah.
snipped anyway.
I mean, for a nubius, like if there are one or two spotted leaves, I would just snip them before I
Yeah.
sent them. But I mean, this tank has never been anything but infested, and I think part of it is because there's so much boost in there. And
Mhm.
I don't know. I might keep the crypts that are in there. I think I'll keep that, and I think everything else I'm just gonna throw out. So
Crypts have an amazing ability to resist algae, at least for me. Once they've
yeah,
established and they
yeah.
start like the
Yeah, and
submerged leaves
actually,
start growing.
they're not very algae ridden. So CoreWorks is what's more of an
Oh,
algae magnet,
that's a
Boost,
good question.
Scarlet Temple. I Boost. I don't find Alternanthera to be an algae magnet. That said, I think that's a plant. Now I don't know if you have super soft water, but like in water that's like medium or harder, I think it needs CO2. I think
Yeah.
it'll just melt without it.
My so for me, Alternanthera, it's hard. It grows really slow.
It
Usually the
doesn't.
fresh growth doesn't have algae, but those old leaves get bad really fast.
Yeah. I uh I find alternate there pretty easy to grow, but boosts for me is an algae magnet. Yeah. And Darlene, I'm not sent. I know it's so bad. I can't send it to anyone. It's so bad. It's just no. It's compost. It's compost time. So it's just too bad.
But people like Brookley will just like meticulously remove all the algae.
But I
I
think that the leaves are damaged.
like
I
you
think
can't use the toothbrush method and all that.
even with that, I think that because I have like meticulously gone through it, and I'll clean it with toothbrushes and get every bit of algae out, and it just comes back. This tank has
Yeah.
always caused me fits, and so I think I just need to nuke it and start over. And so that's what I'm gonna do.
Rachel's trying to watch us at 1.5x trying to catch up. And Zen said, "Go full 2x." Steven sounds hilarious. And can you even understand? I mean, I don't talk really quickly, so I can understand like speeding me up a little bit if you're trying to get through. Because like there's some podcasts and streams where I'm like, all right, you're going a little bit slow. But I don't think I've ever been able to listen to anything on 2x. I can't process the words.
I don't listen to. I know a lot of people. They'll listen to books on tape and podcasts at 1.5x. I never do. I have a job that's long and boring with a lot of hours to fill, and I'm not in a rush to fill them. Yeah.
Boost
Whip says
cats.
crypts. Your ears are burning.
Yeah, we're talking about boost.
We were talking about booze. Whip says crypts have an amazing ability to die within days. At least they do for me, but so do swords boost. To be fair, crypts die for everyone. All the
Mhm.
crypts in this tank behind me, for no reason, all died. I think it's because the CO2 was off. I don't know. They all died. I'm like,
Cause yeah, it's because something changed and it just like
something
didn't like it.
changed. But they're all coming back now. I mean, if your crypts all die, don't do anything. You could put a fertilizer tab if you felt, but they'll come back.
So yeah, being from the South, a little bit of slow talk. 2x is just
Yeah.
slightly faster than normal people.
It's true. People from the Northeast kinda talk fast for my. Because in the Midwest, I don't think we talk very fast either.
It's just too damn hot down here to be in a hurry with anything.
I would agree with that. And in the Midwest, I don't think we're in a very big hurry either. But yeah, people from the Northeast,
Mm.
it's a little fast. I had a friend in grad school. I was helping her with her thesis defense talk, and she was from Massachusetts. And I'm like, you gotta talk slower. I'm like, you gotta just, yeah, just slow it down. Like,
So on the other side of that, have you ever tried to listen to something at half speed because then they sound really drunk?
you sound really drunk. I was listening to an interview with Michelle Obama, and she was talking about because her husband's book had just come out. She's like, make sure you listen to that one on 2x speed.
Mm.
That was good.
Only people more lackadaisical are islanders. That would be nice to just like be completely not in a hurry about anything at all. Even like pressing deadlines are still just kind of.
Yeah, whip, I'm not sending it to anyone. I know. I never mail out shitty plants. Nope, it's getting composted. That's that. Don't, no. No.
Yeah. J Rock says I'm ADHD. I can't even pay attention to a book on tape, let alone a book. Yep, ADHD here too. And reading a book is not really my thing.
Mm-mm.
I can listen to a book on tape if it's really interesting, but I'm more of a like podcast. It's got to be more dynamic for
I would
me.
rather read than listen to a book on tape or a podcast. I mean, obviously when I work, I can't like read a book and do my job at the same time. But
Mhm.
no, I would rather read anything than listen to anything. It's so much faster. I read so fast. I mean, on vacation, I don't know, I'll read like anywhere from 3 to 5 books. Just, yeah, I read really fast.
I wish I was a reader. I feel like I would learn a
Yeah,
lot more.
I
Instead,
mean,
I'm like
yeah,
wanting to learn too many things at once, and then if I want to learn it, I'll go to a YouTube video. And now I'm to the point where if I want to get a crash course on a topic, I will pick the YouTube video that seems the shortest, like or that it has the shortest runtime but isn't too short. Like if I have to choose between like an
yeah.
8-minute video and a 15-minute video, I'm going to go for the 8-minute
I
video.
mean, there are some things I prefer a YouTube video to learn for. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, let's say there's
Mhm.
a knitting technique. I need to see what they're doing with their hands. But usually I would rather read to learn things. Just, and it's been good for my job because like most of what I do is screen literature and I'm so fast. I'm so fast. I mean, yeah, it's useful. I always have been fast. So Nathan says crypts don't die for me. I guess I just have the magic touch. I didn't see much of any melting with the crypts I kept from you, Kelly. They are growing amazing, nice and full. The ones I sent you are
Mm.
ones that don't tend to melt. So I sent him,
Spiralis.
yes, Spiralis and Balancy. And they
Oh, those are
don't,
good ones.
yeah, those don't, unless you get some immersed ones, like if you buy them from, a company or something. But if you get them from a hobbyist, they don't tend to melt. I know they didn't melt for Bex when I sent them to her. I don't
Mhm.
think they melted for you, Steven.
Nope.
Yeah, they just, that one, those don't tend to melt as bad. But like Wenty eye type ones, ugh, they melt if you look at them funny. And like the
Yeah.
Rosenberg you sent me, let's look.
The Rosen Maiden, that probably is going to not look
Yeah,
so great for a while, but it's gonna
yeah,
come
it's
back with a
melting.
vengeance.
Yeah, it's melting, which I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
it's
what they
but
do.
once it comes back, it's gonna start really multiplying for you pretty quickly, and, like, when it starts to really get, like, the bushy leaves, and then you can make a nice carpet out of it. It's a good carpet for a tall
Yeah.
tank.
And it's in a space where it can carpet a bit because I completely redid this tank. Look at it, it's so much better. It looked terrible and now it looks pretty good. My goal was to have, so this will be foreground that's all filling in over here, and then this is an island. The tall plant, that's one Crinum calamistratum. That's it. But now I have more room for my rainbows to swim. I can see them. They're so much happier.
Wow.
And
It's been a while, like, to see all your rainbows kind of bunched up and
I
just
know they're
out in the open like that.
so much happier. And now,
Mm.
like, when I look at them, I'm like, well, I have room to get even more rainbows. Like, there's a lot of room in there. So I think I'll get some more.
Yep.
I'm waiting for some from Dan to come in. That
Which
I
ones? Is anything in particular?
I want some more Have Good Rivers.
Oh, okay.
I lost my group of Have Good Rivers. I want
Oh,
those.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any Picta left?
No, all my Picta died.
Mm,
So I want Picta again, Have Good River. I have someone who's breeding me some turquoise, some lacustris.
cool.
And
Like a good source for them that aren't all
yeah,
wonky,
Jimmy
washed
Walker
out.
Jimmy Walker down in Florida. And
Nice.
I think those will be ready this spring. So I'll get some of those from him. But yeah, yeah. And that should be enough. I mean, and there's a couple babies in there. I have 4 baby Aves Creek in there, and they'll get pretty big. Those are from Foxanne, and they're all
Nice.
males. She sent 4 of them, and males. So
I
just
haven't even
by chance.
sexed the Kamakas that she sent. Some of them are bigger than others. Like some of them are really
Yeah.
teeny tiny, so be a
The
little while.
nice thing about Kamakas is the females still look pretty good. The males will look better because they'll get that shiny breeding stripe,
Mm.
but the females still are attractive. Whereas some rainbows, like um, oh, for instance, the Kalitawa, those are not attractive. Or
Uh,
Bozemanite. I mean, they're not ugly. They're still a beautiful fish in
the
their own way.
dimorphism is very
A lot
obvious,
of
and yeah.
dimorphism. In Kalitawa, yeah, they're like a little goldfish,
Yep.
the females. And I have a lot of Kalitawa, and unfortunately, I have a lot of females
Mm.
because I don't breed. So, you know,
Yeah, my 90 is definitely a sausage fest, but I kind of feel bad because there's maybe, I don't know, 20 something rainbows in there now, and maybe 5 of them are female.
it's a total myth that you need females for rainbows to show well. It has been
Right.
proven wrong time and time again. There are so many rainbow fish keepers who only keep males and their tanks look amazing. Don't feel like you have to get females
No,
for
but I
your
do wonder when the ratio is off like that if they're getting like stressed out with the harassment. But then I don't really see them chasing the females so much as the males just kind
kind
of
of
like
chase each
broing
other.
down, just
Yeah, they just
showing
kind
off
of
to each other.
chase each other. I mean, I think as long as you have a well planted tank with places for them to go, I think they're fine.
So how
How
big
big can a
can a
crinum
crinum
get?
get?
Big. I mean, the one I have, it's like it's bigger than a bunch of celery. It's like that big around
Dang.
the
But
group
how long
of
would that
them.
take?
I mean, this one has been going for almost 4 years, and I've never moved it, and I won't until I take this tank down. Um, honestly, like my goal is to eventually upgrade this tank to a much bigger tank,
Mhm.
and then I'll keep that same plant in there and just let it get even bigger. I would
Like
not have a
much
crinum.
bigger, like 120 to 40.
Yeah, yeah, either 6 or 8 foot tank, and just let it get even bigger. I would not have one in less than, let's say, a 75, and even then, I mean, it's pretty big. I would definitely not have one in a 20.
Probably not,
Any
no.
luck growing guppy grass in tanks with higher flow. I don't grow guppy grass. I've never
I
grown it.
do, and I'm trying like, I never even considered whether they grow in high flow or low flow I feel
It's
like they grow
really
in all
delicate.
of
It's kind of a
yeah.
delicate plant, but in
Like,
general, I think that plants need some flow. They would prefer to have flow as opposed to not having flow.
so I have it actually in the plant farm where I've got the aquarium co-op power head, and there's a lot of flow in that tank,
Yeah,
but I notice, like, I'll remove the guppy grass, but there's always like a sprig left that I don't notice, and then it'll start growing again. But guppy grass will find a place to root down and anchor. It doesn't necessarily want to be floating freely, and once it does
yeah,
that, there's really no stopping it.
yeah,
It'll just kind of wave in the current and still grow really fast.
yeah. So just getting it established.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never grown it. And Ian says I had a crinum growing in a 36 bow front. It looped around itself. It got so long. Yeah, I mean it's you can see the leaves stretch the entire length of the tank. This is a 4 foot long tank.
Mhm.
Yeah, it gets enormous. It gets enormous. It's not really a plant, and the thing is, it really doesn't like to be moved. So it's not one of those things where you can say, well, I'll just keep it in my 10-gallon tank and then I'll move it to this tank and then I'll move it to this tank. It really doesn't like that because after it's moved, it kind of quits growing for 6 months.
Yeah,
So
and, yeah, June said, "Never move Crinum or, Madagascar lace, they'll die or melt." I I suck with Madagascar lace,
it's too hot
or
where you live.
or
It's
I'm getting the
too, yeah.
wrong source or what?
It's too hot where you live. It really likes cooler water and it
Mm,
will die back seasonally when it's hot and it's always hot where you live. It's Yeah, I mean, where June lives, it's much happier, but where you live, it's just too hot in your summers.
yeah, I have a couple of tanks that are unheated that they can like, they'll stay at 70, but they're also really tiny, which is not the best place to grow Madagascar lace, so
Yeah. Well, and also when you do water changes in the summer, your tap water is like 80 degrees, right?
yeah, unless I do it at night, and then it's like 78. I
Yeah.
mean, some
And the
like, it
thing
can get
is,
really
like,
bad.
when it's really, really hot, I know you have your air conditioner on, but there's only so low it can go because it's so hot outside.
Yeah.
So I just think you live in too hot of a climate to grow it. It just really likes cooler water.
Yeah, I've
So
more or less
Rachel,
given up on it, but I can be stubborn, so I might forget that I've given up and then see it come across it shopping, and then I'll end up buying it again because me.
it is pretty. It is pretty. So Rachel got some tissue cultures and she wants to know how to keep them planted. So first of all, get yourself really good tweezers. Um, there's ones that Brookley Bell suggested to me. Lots
Yeah,
of
I
other
have
people
some
know
too,
about
and I
them. Who
forgot.
makes those? I can't remember. Maybe Geek
Uh,
Boy will remember and put a link in chat. They're not expensive. They're on Amazon. They're very cheap. They're, I don't know, $12 or something. So they're not expensive, but they have really fine points and really good action, and they make all the difference in how you plant things. If you've been using shitty tweezers with blunt tips, you don't know how easy it can be. And then you'll find it much easier to get things planted and keep them planted. For things like Monte Carlo, if you're doing that, to get that established, you can cover it in glass plates.
yeah.
I just Googled glass plates on Amazon and I ended up getting, I think they're glass plates for streaking minerals on or something is what I got. But I know people have used picture frame glass or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's what I've used.
Yeah. And that helps too for Monte Carlo. But most of your problems will go away if you get good tweezers. And though you can't tell how good tweezers are just by looking on Amazon. Like you have to get like you have to get lucky. I mean, I guess you could buy like ADA ones, but they're so expensive. but these are cheap and they just happen to be great. But I can't remember who makes them.
UP Aqua says
Thank you,
Jenna
Brooklyn.
and no, well, let's see. Did Brooklyn say it?
Brooklyn did, and Jenna put it.
Oh,
Thank you so much, both of you. Those are the best, and they are not expensive.
so that's a good starting point because we were supposed to have a topic about reviving plants from the dead today, but I wanted to save that for Myrtle because it was his suggestion, and he has basically been revived from the dead in recent months.
Poor
So we're gonna save
Myrtle.
that for when he can come back. And so today I was like, why don't we just like compile some cool stuff for plant enthusiasts, and then I'll, yeah, I don't know, do a giveaway at the end.
Oh,
And I
that's
think those UP
nice.
Aqua tweezers is a
Yeah.
really good start.
Yeah, because everybody, even if you already have a pair, you wouldn't mind a second pair. Because what if you lose the first pair? And if you
Oh,
don't
100%.
have them, I mean, they're just life changing. But don't get rid of your shitty tweezers because they're really good for gluing.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if my shitty tweezers get super glue on them. So I save them for that.
So this is them. 16.99. You can, I think they also have an angled
Yeah,
kind.
and I've never
I have
really.
the angled kind actually.
Yeah, do you like those? I've
They're
never.
fine.
Yeah,
Like
I
the
like the
fine
straight
tip
ones.
is
Yeah,
good.
maybe they're good for reaching into certain places. So Geek Boy says he likes having a pair at each tank. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I have two pairs, but my little cart. So I have a little cart right there of goodies, and it's between my tanks. So, but I have two of them, and I love them. I love them. So, but yes, Berkeley, you modded correctly. Good job.
Cool. Oh, Matt said, please give a pair away on Geek Boy. I mean, Fish Fam Link. So, Fish Fam Link is sponsoring some UP Aqua professional tweezers. That's
Oh,
very nice of you.
thank you. Thank you. And there's something that everybody would love to have because they are just, I can't believe how good they are for how cheap they are.
Yeah. Unfortunately, according to Amazon, they will arrive after Christmas. So,
They
it'll
will.
be a post Christmas gift for
But
somebody.
you're still gonna want to use them after Christmas.
Oh,
So
100%.
yeah. The only tweezers that I so regret I didn't buy these, but I didn't have my purse with me. I was at Aquashella
Yeah.
and there was this table of this person had tools and there were these really, really long, like blue anodized tweezers. And they felt so good. They had such nice little tips and like really good action. And they were like $70. But I'm like, I don't have my purse with me. But I regret I didn't buy them. But
So,
yeah.
if there were any plant questions I missed, feel free to ask them again. But I just noticed on Discord, Nabokov fan tagged me, said for the stream, maybe this is helpful, but requires some photos. So he posted some photos. I haven't
Let's see.
seen what the issue is yet, so I'm just going to start from the beginning of the. Here we go. Okay, let me try to
Make
zoom in.
embiggen it. Enhance. We're watching the X Files right now, and everything is enhance, enhance.
So this was before the move, so everything looks nice and clean. During the move, light on tubs, plants blasted with light. BBA did BBA things,
The
as
worst.
BBA likes to do.
The worst of all algaes is BBA.
So after the move, non-BBA infested plants, then the entire tank. Ugh.
That looks more like staghorn to me. Am I wrong about that?
I do see
No.
staghorn and I see BBA.
Oh, you're right in the back. It's BBA.
Yeah, but this stuff, staghorn, your usual like Siamese algae eater types, they'll take care of
Yeah.
that pretty
Yes,
readily.
yes,
Not the
they
BBA
will.
though.
That I'm waiting for Dan's fish to get those back into stock. I would like another one of those. True Siamese algae eaters. Don't get the like flying fox or the oh god, don't get the Chinese one. They don't do anything.
No.
But
Dan
yeah,
always has the true ones.
he
Also,
does.
I have a couple of the reticulated ones, and I find that they are also really good at eating algae.
Oh, that's good to know. I've never had
I've
those.
heard that they are even better, as
Hmm.
in like the true ones. Supposedly, as they get bigger, they stop eating it because they want a higher protein diet because they start to go into breeding mode.
I
Um,
don't know if that's true. I don't really have I mean, I have them in these two tanks and I don't really have algae for them to eat. So,
mhm.
but I do see them going around each leaf and going, "Nom, nom, 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 nom." So I think
Yeah.
they're still grooming the plants.
Well, the ones in
So,
Jenna's tank really freaking love orange Venezuelan Cory eggs because
oh no,
they've learned now when the Corys are
oh
spawning, they will just follow the Corys. Like, yeah, go ahead, wipe those eggs on the glass. I'll get them off for you. So
no.
we have to pay attention now. If I want to start breeding the orange Venezuelans again, I'm gonna have to get those those algae eaters out of there,
Oh, and they're such a
bastards.
nice Cory. I mean, who wouldn't want a
I
hundred
know.
of those? They're so great. But if you do want 100 of them, Foxanne just hatched out a bunch. And come this spring, she'll have she'll have more. But maybe you'd want to make 100 yourself. I mean, you know,
It's not that hard. Like it's like I am a terrible Cory breeder actually because
yeah.
I'm not attentive and like diligent with like feeding schedule and raising the fry and stuff and checking for eggs. But you know the orange Venezuelan, since they'll leave hundreds at a time, as long as I get a few dozen of them.
I have Equus in this tank, and I mean, I've never tried to breed them, but I think I've heard they're like the worst Cory to breed. They
Yeah, I watched
very
that
hard to breed.
same talk that you did
Yeah.
about how they need like an absolute like filthy leaf litter tank
Yeah, and
and
I don't
no
wanna do
flow.
that.
Yeah.
So, breeding those is not gonna happen. I have pygmy cories in that tank, and maybe they've bred, but there's so much algae, I can't tell.
Yeah, pygmies are another one of those that will just it doesn't really matter. When they're
They're
ready to breed,
easier
they're
to
ready to
breed.
breed.
Yeah, they're easier to breed.
Yeah.
But I am not a
So
fish breeder, so, like, I'm not a good person to ask.
so Papa Shrimp, this is a good
Or
idea. My favorite way to grow tissue cultures is to clean them off really good, then put them in a small internal breeder box, allow them to transition and start
mm,
rooting, then plant them. Yep, that's good when you've got
good
Corys
idea.
that will just like
Yeah.
rip them up.
I think that's a good idea too, because sometimes, like, if you have an established tank, it's really hard to keep track of new tank plants that are really tiny. So like I will keep things in the front and then when they're bigger, I'll move them back. Unless it's like a crenum callum stratum. You can't move that
Uh-huh.
ever. Um, yeah. But that is a good idea. So Dee Dee says, I got a generic Amazon set when I first got plants. Planting that Monte Carlo and Kelly said, bitch. I used a lot of plant weights to keep it down. Yeah. Try the glass plates, Dee Dee. Life changing tip. I learned that from Bentley.
Yeah.
Life changing tip. You've got to keep the glass plates on there for probably like 3 or 4 weeks. Don't move them and it will establish. Always be corying.
If
Love
I was
it.
if I was half as good at breeding and raising Corys as Foxy and Peplin, I'd be very happy.
Well, that's because Brian sings to them every night and he reads them stories.
Well, I'm not gonna do that, so
I know. You're not willing to put in the work.
so Nathan asked, "Are flying fox the same as Siamese algae eaters? Would they be okay in a 40 breeder?"
They are different.
So that's the problem with common names
Yeah.
because you got to look at the scientific name for those. I have heard them be called Siamese flying foxes, but still
Yeah.
be like the one that you want. But also, there's a flying fox that like something that goes by the common name flying fox that you absolutely do not want.
Yeah. And also, sometimes at stores, they'll have Chinese algae eaters that are labeled as Siamese algae eaters. You really don't want those. They are mean. We had one of those. We had those as a kid. They have a sucker mouth like a pleco, and they start out small and they're good algae eaters, but they get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And they are mean. They are mean sons of bitches. And they will suck on your fish. They will suck on the slime coats. They are mean motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Mean.
So I'll checking Dan because I forgot what the scientific name is. So Crustochilus langii.
Yeah. Crosokylos, maybe. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I
Who
just
knows?
butcher that.
Oh, yeah, those are the ones. That's the ones I always get, and I have watched them with uh what is it, staghorn algae. Like I have seen them go through, and they will go through and they will prune that stuff off like little scissors, and it floats off. They are amazing at that.
Yeah. And and also the other question was, are they okay for a 40 breeder?
I think
I've
I've
had
got
them
them
in a
in here.
40,
Yeah, I've got two of them in here, and they're
but
fine.
this
They
max
may
size
not.
around 5 to 6 inches is true, and it happens really fast.
You might have not gotten that big in here, and I've had them for a couple years. They're probably like 3 or 4 inches, though.
Oh man,
But it does
see,
happen fast. I would agree with that.
like
They may
my
not be
reticulated
happy
ones
with,
got really big really
and they
quickly.
may not be happy with every tank mate. I mean, they're a barb,
Yeah,
and they kind of
they
have barb personalities. They're good with rainbows though, because rainbows are boisterous. Rainbows and barbs
mhm.
pretty much always get along. But if you have more placid or shy fish, they may not like it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know every fish. I know
So
they're
let's
good with
see.
rainbows though. They're good
Yeah,
friends.
they're fine with the rainbows, and we
Yeah.
have them with like a ghost knife and some glass cats.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I also have some in with the puffer. They're
I
no big
mean,
deal.
of those, I would worry more about the glass cats. But you guys have a lot of plants in there. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
it's a big tank, you know.
Hmm.
But
So Peter Griffin, welcome. Someone gave me some Hygrophila Roseanne, as a Rosanervig. I couldn't find them. Do they go by a different name as well? That one actually, Eakin's answered already. Look up Hygrophila polysperma sunset.
yes, that's a weed. And it
It
is
is.
illegal. It is illegal to sell.
I
But it,
love it.
yeah, it is it's a pretty plant. I have grown it before. I'll never grow it again. It's too fast for me.
It's my
Um,
favorite plant for low tech, need nitrate sponge and something that looks
I mean, I
decent.
I knew a guy who kept it with Mambuna cichlids. It grows so fast and it doesn't care about hard water that it would outgrow the Mambuna cichlids, and it was beautiful. It had a beautiful color,
Mm.
and it was nice for soaking up nitrates.
So
So
yeah, Nathan's looking for an algae eater that can go in with endlers. The Siamese algae eater will go with them, but it will eat fry. Like it won't eat all
yeah,
of them, but
I would
it'll
agree
eat
with.
them.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Um, what about those algae eating shrimp that Dan has? The green algae eating shrimp. They'll probably also pick on some Endler fry, but
The grass shrimp, which look very much like a slightly different shade of a mono shrimp. I mean, they're large enough shrimp that they are opportunists, and if they see like a weak guppy or something
yeah, they'll
struggling, that's
pick it
probably
off
going to die anyway, it'll grab the whole thing.
because they're
It'll grab
slightly
whole
more
wafers and
aggressive than a monos, I've heard.
mm,
But I mean,
ah,
it's an option. I would
yeah.
say the Clethon snails, those are great, and they are great algae eaters. They will eat all your spot algae. They won't do anything about like black blackbeard algae. I don't think there's anything that will eat it. Now, some people may argue with me on that, but
I've heard that the flagfish will, but again, flagfish are also assholes. So
well, and also they're just not suitable for every tank. They're not suitable for endlers, I would say, and I don't think they're suitable for you, Steven. I think your tanks are too hot in the summer.
yeah,
So Yeah,
Oh, there's more.
coral works is just eat the algae yourself.
Mm.
It's very nutritious, I'm sure.
So this is what is the next picture he posted after the algae. This is the plants now. Same plants that all look like that Java fern slash PBA. So
If you see BBA on a Java fern leaf, cut it off and throw it out is my recommendation. Java ferns are cheap enough and easy enough to come by. They are not precious. I know you spent money on them. I know it's hard to throw things away, but I don't think there's any coming back from BBA on a Java fern leaf. Just cut it out and throw it out.
yeah.
On your Anubias, if you can cut every single leaf off of an Anubias and just have the rhizome, and those leaves will come back.
See, if it were just BBA on the Anubias leaves, I could say like the Anubias leaves are hardy enough that you
Yeah.
can do the hydrogen peroxide, but this spot algae, if it's like been there for a while and hardened, it's absolutely
Yep, just cut it off. Just cut it off
botched.
and throw it out. I mean, and they will come back as long as the rhizome is there. They'll come back.
Oh, and then right after that, we got Scotty who wants a plant ID. So he says sword, crypt, what type?
What's some kind of crypt? I don't know what
Is
kind.
it? It looks, I don't know. It
Is
almost
it?
looks
I don't
sword
know.
like, but
I think it looks more crypt like.
are
I
these
don't
like
know.
really big bubbles?
Those are really big bubbles. I don't
Interesting.
know. It's hard to tell on a computer. I'll look at it
Yeah.
later on my phone. I think it looks more like a crypt. But I would need to see the petioles. The things that are attached to the leaves, the
Mm-hmm.
petioles.
Yeah, I can. It does. It does look crypt-like. I don't know.
But I don't know what kind of crypt. Maybe there are a lot of Wentii type crypts.
All right, Scotty. Now you have to get it to flower for us, and then we can help.
Myrtle and Crypt Keeper, they have the book. They can look it up.
They do.
Crystal Castleman book. And I don't have that book. I don't know why I don't have that book. I don't know why I've never bought that book. I don't know what's keeping me from buying that book. I've just never bought the book. I should buy it someday, and I just haven't.
I feel like I had it, but then we used it for a giveaway. That was dumb.
That was
Why did I
dumb.
do that?
Why'd you do that? It's got great pictures. Zenny
Yeah.
says it looks almost like an Apanagitan, but I'm on a teeny tiny mobile screen. Yeah. I don't think it looks like an
Yeah.
Apanagitan, but
So Adam McReynolds says Black Molly's BBA vacuums. They clean every bit of it up.
I've heard that black mollies are good algae eaters. We had black mollies as a kid, but I don't remember. All I remember about the black mollies as a kid is they really like dying. Those pet store mollies back then were not good.
Mm.
But I've heard they're good eaters.
Related question briefly mentioned on Discord. For a heater in a shallow tank, how do you ensure it's working if you have older equipment?
I mean, I would not have a heater without an Inkbird controller.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't think that any heater is a good heater. I think all heaters suck. Even if you get an expensive heater, it will fail. I've been lucky. Every heater I've had that's failed has failed off. But they always fail off in the winter. And it's very, very cold here. So my
Yeah, it
fish have gotten
sucks.
cold, but they haven't died. But
I've only had one that failed on.
fail. Yeah, and they'll cook your fish. Unless your Inkbird catches it, and then you'll
Right.
know to replace it. So, how do you ensure if it's working? I mean, the Inkbird has a temperature probe in it, and that's what I would do. They're not expensive. They go on sale every Prime Day. One of our mods can drop a link for it. They're on Amazon, and they're easy to use. I have the app controlled ones, and I wish I didn't.
Me too. I
Yeah.
have one that's app controlled, and I want to stab it every time I do a water
I know,
change
it
and leave
drives
the
me
water low too long, and that freaking alarm goes off.
ugh,
It's
and
like,
it happens every time.
yep.
So I wish I didn't have them. And the non-app controlled ones are even a couple bucks cheaper, so get those.
Yeah, and they're fine. I have never once opened that Inkbird app other than to make it shut up. Like,
When I was in on last year at Christmas, we went to Wisconsin and it got so cold here. So cold because we were having a blizzard and it got down to -20 at my house. And so I was really worried about my tanks. And so I was checking the Inkbird a lot. I was checking it pretty
yeah,
obsessively to
I
make
could see that.
sure it was okay. Well, because that would also tell me like how cold it got for the cats, because we were away
Yeah.
from them.
When we
So
were at the Clash during the award ceremony this year, Jenna's mother was texting Jenna because she was coming to like walk the dogs, take care of the house and stuff, and the AC had quit working because there was like a clog, and so the drip pan had filled up and turned it off, and the Inkbird alarm was going off, and so it was just like chaos, and her mom didn't know what to do, just like
your poor mother-in-law.
yeah.
Jeez. Oh God.
So which one were you talking about? Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is this
Oh,
magical weed that grows too
yeah,
fast?
Hygrophila
Oh,
polysperma sunset.
that one, yeah.
There are many people in the community who have it now, including Steven.
Get in
And it was
touch with
with
me.
Mumbuna cichlids. You do need some light, and this was in Coralville, Iowa water, which is harder than your water whip. Super, super hard.
Mhm.
And now, I mean, to be fair, like he did have a green thumb. Like he was my plant friend in Iowa. I only had one plant friend. That
Nice.
was it, and it was him. So he did have a green thumb, but it's an option. You could try it, and if it dies, Steven won't care because he'll just grow more.
I'll have double the amount that I sent you by the time it arrives to your
I mean, it might double by the time he wakes up tomorrow. It grows really fast.
I need to do plant farm maintenance because now the shipping season has stopped. Like I still have all the high grows in there, and they don't care that shipping season is over. Starting to shade things out.
So Ian asked if we've seen the CJ contactless heaters. I have not. I bought when I set this tank up, I bought cobalt heaters because I'm like, well, those are top of the line. Maybe they'll be good. No, they were not good. They failed.
I mean, let me know when you find a heater that is better than any other heater you've had. 'Cause-
Yeah, I mean, right now I have aquarium co-op heaters and they're fine, but they're gonna fail. I should probably just replace them
and I
before they
haven't
fail
had
because
luck
they're
with
like a
the
year.
co-op.
They're Yeah, maybe I'll try the what are they? The begins with the Higer heaters, maybe. I don't know. There's no good heater. It doesn't matter.
So I've heard kind of peripherally about the CCHA contactless heater. And when they mean contactless, I think it uses NFC or Bluetooth. I don't remember, but that's how you adjust the temperature on it. And I don't know if that is like that's the extent of the features. Like I don't like when heaters are just adding more points of failure to it. Like no,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fix the heater part of the heater,
Because
and
yeah,
then we can
the
talk
heater
about
part
gadgets and
it is the heater part that
yeah.
fails. And my
So
co-op heaters are just they're over a year old now. So I should probably just replace them anyways. Mine have always failed in the winter and they always fail off. Like if I have any sort of like power surge, power outage, that's when they fail. But I mean, there's no good heater.
my phone just went off to alert me that Brooklyn Bell's birthday is in a week.
Jake's birthday is Saturday.
Oh yeah, the big 5-0.
I know we've been working on our plans because he doesn't know yet but what a surprise will be. So,
Yeah. So I mean, there are some merits to having that the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi Inkbird because you can monitor and track temperature. I
right.
just haven't yet had a need to do that. And so
Yeah.
my only experience with the app controlled one is that it makes a beeping noise that hurts me.
I
And
mean, if the probes were long enough to reach to the bottom of the tank,
yeah.
so they wouldn't be exposed during water changes, it wouldn't be a problem. But
Mhm.
mine don't reach to the bottom of the tank because they're on the floor, and a 90-gallon is pretty tall.
Then
So they're just not long enough.
and Shady Grady says I've had more inkbird failures than heater failures, but I have them on all my
Mm,
tanks. So I haven't had more inkbird failures than heater failures, but I've had I think 15 inkbirds, and I have had two of them fail. So it's not
yeah,
like it's set it and forget it, end all be all. Now your heaters are going to be fine because yeah, it's you are adding another point of failure to it, but
yeah.
sort of helps you monitor the heater function better than if you just had the heater in there.
I mean, the best thing that you can do if you have a fish room is to heat the room. That's the
Nope.
safest, it's the cheapest, but
No.
you can't do that
I
because
refuse.
it's your house.
Yeah.
Well, for people who have, like, basement fish rooms, you can do that, but you can't because you would be too hot because you don't wanna live in a 75-degree house. I don't wanna live in a 5-degree house. That sounds
Mm-mm.
great. God, that sounds so good. But then I
Titanium
wouldn't get
on
to
the
wear all
bird.
my then I wouldn't get to wear all my sweaters. I have so many sweaters.
Oh, Northern Tide said had a CPD get stuck in the co-op here because it's got that little cage around it that
Oh, you're
uh,
right. Oh, you know what the best heaters I've had are the Awaza ones that are the in integrated ones that are like
in the
in the
canister.
filter. Yeah, those are great. And I think it's
Oh,
because they're in a constant environment and
yeah, maybe so.
they don't move.
I'm a
So
little abusive with my heaters. Like I don't really turn them off. I try to keep them at the bottom and not expose all of them. But I've had ones that just I don't even realize that I've drained the water too much, and I start to
it
smell
happens.
smoke. But
It happens.
they
It
still
happens.
work. Those or lushy ones
Yeah.
from Amazon. I've had them 4 years and counting. Knock on wood, they are still
Yeah.
kicking.
I mean, sometimes you get lucky. But yeah, those ones that are in the I mean, and I know if they break, you can buy new heaters for them on Awaza's site or maybe even on Amazon. Awaza makes them. But I haven't had any of those fail.
Mm,
But I don't think that they're better than other heaters. I just think that because they are in a constant environment, that's why they haven't failed.
yeah, I do like my ceramic heaters better than the glass ones. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't like decided on my
I've
favorite
had
heater.
titanium
I
heaters
just
fail. Yeah.
yeah.
There was a
So
question. Foxanne sent me a Boost video to check out.
oh,
I will check it out.
so while you're looking at that, Coro, hopefully I didn't miss any questions. Sorry if I did, but what's the best way to refresh your substrate? Should I just bucket the fish, take off the top layer, add some dirt, then cap it with the sanded dugout? I mean, for sure, when I do a substrate change, which I've done only twice, I took all the fish out because what are we looking at? Um,
Flowering Boost. Woo!
nice.
That's exciting. Wow. Way to go, Foxanne. Way to go.
I love the boost flowers because
It
some
is
like
pretty
when they get
cool.
going, they'll go crazy for a while too.
Kind of like Anubias. Anubias flowers all the time for me. There's an Anubias flower right there. But it is fun to see. Cool.
So yeah, have you ever changed your substrate out and did you like just pull all the fish out? I feel like you kind of
Yeah.
have to. There's so much
Yeah.
shit that gets stirred up.
Yeah. That's one of those things where, yeah, you're pretty much, it's your opportunity to redo your aquascape because you got to tear your whole tank down to do that. Yeah. You got to catch all the fish.
Holy
Yeah.
crap, I didn't even see what time it is. Is Austin streaming?
Oh,
Because
God. Yeah. I don't know.
ugh. Yeah, as I was gonna do this giveaway. I don't want
I
to run
know.
over him too much. I'll do like a quick wheel of you win, and we'll give away we can give away 2 pairs of those tweezers because
Oh, that would
yeah,
be
we
good.
got totally derailed
Yeah,
with comments and questions, which I
right.
love. So
We got
keep
carried
that
away.
up.
We got carried away bashing on heaters.
Hmm. Let me if someone can check YouTube, I can go take a look too. Not
Whip
sure.
points out using more than one heater is a good idea, and I would agree with that. I have
I have
2
that.
heaters in this tank. I
Yeah,
don't
my
have 2
90.
heaters in my other 2 tanks because they're the Awaza integrated heater filter thing, but I do have 2 heaters in there.
Let's see. Yeah, there's complaints about the co-op heaters failing. Yeah, I don't know. I've had a
I
higher
just
failure rate with the co-op heaters too. I did get the very first batch, like the first run of them. So
I
like
just don't
I
think
don't
there's
know.
such I just don't think they're good heaters. I don't think good heaters exist.
No.
Yours included. I just don't think there are good heaters. I
Hmm.
mean, but they make many good products, but they don't make every product great. I mean, I think they have great customer service. That I'll say, but I just don't think all their products are good. They make many good products, but nobody
Yeah.
makes a good heater.
But I mean, I know the co-op has, I think, the 5% failure rate rule when they pull a product. So if that's if they're still within that, oh yeah, Matt just said right there, they've had failures, but not above their 5% limit. So sometimes we just have like shitty luck and we get a disproportionate amount of failures. It
Right.
happens.
Well, I mean, 5% is 1 in 20. And if
Hmm.
you have 10 tanks, that means that your probability of getting a failure is 50%.
Right.
So, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
But
So
that's still high enough that I don't trust heaters.
cool. So Austin is on, and Bob's and Chelsea's member stream isn't until 45. That's when we lose Ginger. She's like, "Peace out. Got to go to mod for Bob."
She's a professional mod. She's a
Indeed.
pro mod. Yeah.
So cool. So we can keep going a little bit with questions and stuff because I'm
Right.
behind in chat, and that stresses me
The
out.
chat is moving very, very fast. I mean, yeah. And a lot of bashing on heaters, which
Because fuck heaters, right? I mean,
I know, but I mean, I have to have them. My house gets so cold in the winter. I mean, for you, like, well, you keep your house too fucking cold.
I disagree. I think it's
Your house is
optimal.
like 63 degrees.
No, it's 69.
When I visited you, I'm like, why don't I have a coat to wear? I'm cold inside this
We should
house.
have guest coats at the door.
You should.
Like, welcome
Or
to the
maybe like a little
refrigerator. Here's your
blanket.
coat.
Here's a little blanket for you to wrap in. I mean, your dogs did want to lay on us. That helps.
It does, yeah.
But I was cold. When I come to visit you next, like I need to remember to pack sweaters because I'm cold in your house.
And we're totally used to it. So we're just like, it could be a smidge
I
colder.
mean, my house is cold in the winter because I have an old house and I can't keep it warmer. It just won't. But yeah. Oh, and that says Fat Kitty is the only heater I need. Fat Kitty wants me to be his heater. It's a one way. She's stealing my heat. I
There's
woke up
not
this
like
morning.
like a even transfer because cats run a little bit hotter than humans. I think same thing
But
with dogs.
cats, humans would like it about 70 degrees. Cats would prefer it to be about 85 degrees. They
They
prefer hotter weather.
Phoebe loves my laptop.
Yep, yep. I woke up this morning and I had 3 cats on me. I'm like, God damn, too many fucking cats on me.
So let's see. I don't know if I missed any questions or comments that y'all wanted me to see. Sorry. So
The
feel free
chat is
to
really moving.
repeat and spam
Yeah.
because I will lose track if I'm trying to go back. So Ekin said, if you want a good heater, look into the salty world. You're going to spend more, but you'll have that reliability. So
Interesting.
what is it about a saltwater heater
I don't
that
know,
you
but I did that. So I got those cobalt heaters and they are salty heaters. and they were expensive. They were like 3 times as much as like a co-op heater, and they failed. They both failed off, which is if they're gonna fail, but they both failed. So I don't know that that's true. I remember Dean from Aquarium Co-op. He's not from Aquarium Co-op. Dean is from Dean, but you know who he is.
Dean from Dean.
This was
Dean
before
as featured on Aquarium Co-op.
this was before the co-op started selling heaters, and he talked about how he had been testing hundreds of heaters and he hadn't found any that he liked.
Mm.
I was
Yeah, I
like,
remember him talking about that. And I think when Co-op was trying to release a heater, they were just sending like tons and tons of heaters to Dean, and he was just like, "Sucks, sucks,
right.
crap,
Well,
crap."
and he said the cobalt heaters sucked, and I would agree with that.
It
So
is definitely a roll of the dice.
yeah, but I can't heat my house to 75 degrees in the winter. It just I can't make it warm enough. I wish.
So, Big Steve asking, how would I say those what the fish shirts fit? I'd rather go one size too big. I'm fat. Hey, welcome to the club. I hate when the neck hole looks like a V-neck. So,
Hmm.
I do a size bigger on those two. But unfortunately, since I don't use Teespring because Teespring is garbage now, I can't get the tall sizes, and that's my one complaint about the
Oh,
shirts is that they're too short for me. But if you don't have that same problem with like extra long torso plus like belly curvature that makes shirts all too short,
God, everything on Jake is too long. That is our
uh,
problem with things for him. It's not that tall. So it's like it's medium, but why is it so long?
yeah,
It's short. The women's shirts, not that it will help you, I think are true to size. I mean, because I've gotten a tank
yeah,
top and shirt and but
they seem to run true
yeah,
to size for these in particular.
the women's ones. The yoga pants, they run small. You've got to size up. It even
Gotcha.
says on there to size up, and you do, because I have bought a lot of yoga pants in my day.
All right, so
I had to
Steve,
size
buy the larger size yoga pants for sure.
up. Tiny undersize.
So Adam said, best way to keep tiny plants in the substrate, plants you're not supposed to plant above the crown. So that is a different challenge. Like when you're trying to
It
plant
is.
val or like a sword tissue culture,
You
when
know,
you can't really press it down all the way. You kind
yeah,
of,
I don't really worry about because I don't use sand.
yeah,
I
that's a good
use
point.
I use aqua soil, which is not a hard compacted
Yeah.
substrate.
So
So I don't really worry about my crown getting buried because there's still can allow for gas exchange and nutrient exchange. So I
yeah.
don't really worry about the crown getting covered up. I mean, I'm not going to shove it down 6 inches, right? But like if it's just below the surface, it's fine. But I would still say good tweezers and then grab them by the roots and then plant them. Don't grab them above it. Go grab just below. You can even trim the roots a tiny bit, and sometimes that helps. Like if they had really long roots on them, I would trim it a bit,
Mhm.
and I think that helps. But good tweezers, man, they make such a difference. Get good tweezers, like just
Agreed.
so much easier, so much easier.
So Nabokov fan clarified salt water, you have to worry about
I
corrosion.
would
So
agree
yeah,
with
use
that.
less
Yeah,
temperature
I would agree
regulation.
with that. I would agree with that. And these were not cheap, but they just still failed. And
Hmm.
it wasn't, yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I had a little power surge because my power went off and then it came back on. Um, and that's when they failed. But maybe I don't know. Yeah.
I sometimes think the same thing with like salt water is
I
just
would agree with
expensive because
that.
saltwater people like to say how much money their system
Because
costs.
salt water is like the biggest dick measuring contest of
Uh,
hobbies. I mean, that and like hi-fi stereos, it's just a huge dick measuring contest.
yeah, but I mean they're very smart saltwater keepers,
Yeah.
especially within the fish fam. I like that the salt
And
there are
we
salt people in the fish fam that are not elitist and actually
no,
make me want to consider salt
that
rather
is
than just
true.
despise all of them.
We know some very, very wonderful and patient and
Reasonable.
accessible saltwater keepers, but there are those out there who are not like that.
Hmm.
They just want tech to control their tech. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Mike B was asking for a good site to make shirts rather than Teespring. Matt said Printify, which is what I use. There's also Printful, which seems to be just as good, and perhaps in some ways a less complex because Printify is like a collection of printers that you can choose from
Hmm.
based on like what kind of shipping speed, cost, color options, size options, and all that. But Printful is just one printer, like one company, or at least that's how they look on the outside. You don't have to like make decisions.
What does Rico use?
He uses Amazon, and actually, I'm wearing his shirt right now. And
I like
for
his shirt.
a
It
while, I
fits
couldn't
good.
order from Amazon because the tall shirts weren't there, but now they're available. So I ordered one, and it's really good.
I think, and they're true to size, and they.
Hmm.
But I mean, I've only bought the women's cut shirts, so I mean that's not really gonna help you. But for women out there, like that shirt fits really, really nice. Can you suggest a dry guppy food? Well, that's a Steven question for sure.
I mean, oh, God, I'm not one of those people that really like buys that specialty color enhancing guppy specific food for breeding and raising guppies. Guppies eat what
I
everybody
was
else
gonna
eats,
say, what won't a guppy eat? I mean,
right?
you have fish poop in your tank, they'll eat it. I mean, guppies will eat anything. Just
Yeah,
a
so
food for
I have so many tanks now with so many damn fish that I get most of my food now from Ken's Fish
yeah,
because you can buy it in bulk and it's really affordable. So I
just
would
freeze
check
it.
out Ken's Fish. His
Yeah.
flake food options are like overwhelming, unnecessarily diverse. Like there's so many, it's
There's
insane.
so
And
many of
I
them.
don't even understand why some of them are even an option.
There's so
There
many
seems
of
to be a lot
them.
of
And the
overlap.
packages are really, really big. So like
Mm,
freeze them and then just take out a little bit at a time. But
yeah, I'm about to
yeah.
open that site because
Rachel
I
says, I'm wary of ordering women's shirts. Are they see through? The Rico shirts are not. They're really, really nice, the women's shirts. They're soft and they're cut really nice. They're not too short, they're not too long, and they're not see through. The fish tank top, but this was from your old one. I haven't gotten one of your new ones
the
yet.
flowy one from Teespring.
It was super low cut. Like I can't wear it to yoga or I would be like tits out in every down dog. It's just not, it's not okay. I wear it when I do water changes because who cares? But I would not wear it to yoga. Um, yeah, I haven't gotten one of the new ones. So
So this is Ken's Flake, and it's just
there's so many
there's
of them.
premium super tropical. What the fuck does that mean?
I think
Ultra
it's a
intense,
blend. It's a blend. I mean, I guess it's a blend.
but there's other
I like
blends. So
blend.
like just wait.
I
Ultra
know there's
intense
so many.
spirulina
Oh
flake,
god, there's so many.
but then there's ultra spirulina flake. What is the difference?
What is
Ultra
that?
cichlid mix, ultra vegetable, ultra color mix, plankton krill spiruli flake. I get this one a lot because it's got the things in it. Good
Geek
mix
Boy
of
says, "What's wrong with see-through shirts?" And Matt says, "I love your see-through shirts." Well then, Jake likes to stringerify shirts because when he was a young man in high school and college, he had to rip the sleeves off of every shirt, like rip it down to there, so his arms could bulge out.
oh, but
So,
look, there's ultra cichlid mix, but you scroll down and here's ultra cichlid flake.
and then
I
there's
thought they were
ultra
all
egg
flakes.
yolk flake.
Like,
And then there's ultra angel and discus flake. But what, you can't feed that to other fish? I
no,
mean,
definitely not.
no,
No, you have
rainbows
to
cannot
have
eat it.
discus food for discus and only discus. because discus, they
That's
have that
what people
very
are
important
fancy.
staple of cow. They like to eat cow in the wild, apparently. Yeah.
Jake
Um,
said he said to me, like, should you get discus? And I'm like, I should not. I do not want discus.
Shady Grady said Kent's Fish is 15 minutes from my house. You should try shopping there. It's ridiculous how many
Oh.
options they have. Oh, I would walk in that store and I would freeze.
Where
Like,
is Ken's Fish? Where are
I
they
don't know.
located? I
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea. Not that I'm trying to like out where Shady Grady lives, but I am interested
I
where Ken's
would,
Fish
because their
is.
flake food is so cheap. I was actually kind of wary before I was suspicious. Like, is this crap? Like, is it just a bunch of filler? And I
No,
mean,
I think lots of like real breeders who are like when they're not using live food or frozen food, they like Ken's Fish. Yeah.
because like you can get a pound of flake for the same price that you would
So
pay
cheap.
for like a quarter pound of extreme.
Yeah, it's very cheap. But hang on to your extreme containers because those are
Yes.
really good containers.
Yep. That's what I
Because this
use.
just comes in like big bags, which you can transfer to like a Ziploc bag and put them in your freezer. And then, yeah, you can just use your extreme containers. They work really well.
So I get the egg yolk flake a lot too because feel like that would be decent enough for fry. But then we've got ultra
Protein.
tropical flake, but I thought there was already a tropical flake. Nah, this is premium super tropical
I
flake.
mean, for rainbows, I feel like it's good for them to have like a mix of flakes. Like I like the krill
Yeah.
flakes, but I also mix in some spirulina flakes. I've
Hmm.
mixed in like the Fluval bug bites flakes. Rainbows like flakes because they have
It's
very
yeah.
small mouths and throats and they're very dumb and they will choke on anything bigger.
I
So
always mix them together.
yeah,
I'll
I
get
would mix.
the plankton krill spiruli flake, and I'll usually mix it in with like the vegetable flake or
Yeah.
a spirulina flake. I just pick one. I have no
Yeah.
idea what.
In general, I prefer flake food
Here we
for
go. Beef heart flake. Why is beef heart flake not called discus flake? Is it the same? Like, I want to see like what if
what's
the
in the
angel and
ultra
discus
angel
flake.
and discus flake. Rachel says
Uh,
she has tiny pellets from Ken's Fish. Her fish like them. She has to crush them up. She wants to try a smaller size. I do not trust even tiny pellets with rainbows because they'll just choke on them. I've seen them do it.
yeah,
Zenny
this
says I
gets
feel like most people end up buying golden pearls for fry from Ken's as like a gateway food and then buy other stuff.
yes,
Golden
I got that
pearls
too.
are an excellent fry food. They are an
Um,
excellent fry
yeah.
food.
So here's another cichlid flake, but it's premium instead of ultra. Or yeah, I think Ken
What's the
could
difference between
probably
premium and
cons-
ultra?
consolidate a little bit. Okay, look, here's another colorful mix here, but
Premium.
it's
There's
for
one that's called premium guppy flake. There you
it's
go.
just for
You could get
guppies.
that one. You could get that one.
I
But
haven't tried that one yet.
but don't feed it to your other tanks. It's only for guppies.
I also the worm flakes are good. But yeah, so
I'm grossed out by things made of worms. I'm just grossed out. I mean, it shouldn't matter, but I am.
so you probably can't go wrong with any of the flakes, but in
How
terms
horrible
of
would it be to work in a fish food factory? That has got to stink.
I feel like you would go nose blind to it and probably wouldn't have a sense of smell anymore. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't want to do that. I'd rather medical, right?
And yeah, like the pellet size, I mean, they got 9.5 millimeter, big chunky to like 1 millimeter, 3.5, 2.5, 4.5, 5.5, 1.5. Like, yeah, half a millimeter. You
Ryan says
can,
it's like the Cheesecake Factory menu, but for fish.
yeah,
It is. I've never eaten at a Cheesecake Factory though. I don't know if we have one in Fort Wayne, so I've
I
never
think we
eaten at
have.
one.
Okay, the Aztecs and then whatever. I can't.
Astaxanthin.
Here it is.
Astaxanthin. Those are pigments.
Can
Plant.
turn your fish orange with the main tetracolor and vibrant bites
Yeah,
trick.
I don't really want my fish to be orange. I want them to be blue.
I like bluefish. Yeah, but I have decapsulated brine shrimp and I have golden pearls because yeah, you can get golden
Right.
pearls at all the various sizes, all the way down to 5 to 50 micron, which is like powdered powder.
Craig says that Dr. Basiliers has finally made it down under. I have never tried Dr. Basiliers. I am 100% confident, though, that rainbows will eat it
Yeah,
because
I bet they will.
they, they're not picky eaters.
Yeah,
Jenna says
and
you have eaten at a cheesecake factory in Florida, but you don't have any in your part of Louisiana. If I lived in Louisiana, I would never eat at a cheesecake factory. The food is so good there. There's
no,
just
but
so
what we
many
do
better places
have,
to eat.
which is local, is a Copeland's Cheesecake Bistro, and it seems to be very much modeled after the Cheesecake Factory,
Mm,
like similar kind of entrees, but like with more of a Southern Creole
I
twist to
see.
them, and but then like an endless menu of cheesecakes.
Mm. I like cheesecake. I mean, Jake is so lactose intolerant. I mean, it's just he never orders it. The farting,
Mhm.
God, just so much farting. It's not
Just
good.
fartastic.
God damn, it's so fantastic. It's a real problem. They make good chicken Madeira. Okay.
Cool.
Scotty loves it. I mean, if Scotty loves it, it's got to be good. Scotty is just the arbiter of cuisine. Just yeah,
The golden pearls are
a popular fry food.
I
Yeah.
got those for Corey's actually because I was like, I'm gonna read rainbows, but I haven't gotten around to that.
The
But
50,
yeah,
you want to get the 50 to 100 micron ones for first fry food for, or 5 to 50 micron.
yeah,
You
I was
want
gonna
the
say, I
tiny,
think you're
tiny,
supposed to
tiny
get the
ones. Yeah.
tiniest.
The
Mhm.
tiniest ones, and they're good first fry food, but then you have to move them to baby brine shrimp, and then they stay on the baby brine train forever. I
Yeah,
mean, you can feed new rainbow fry green water if you have it, or vinegar eels if you have them. I don't breed rainbows. This is all secondhand.
yep. All my rainbow breeding knowledge is theoretical.
I've only bred rice fish, and here's how you breed rice fish. You put them in your pond and you never feed them and you never look at them, and then all of a sudden, oh look, I have hundreds of rice fish. That's all you do. You don't
Nice.
have to do anything.
Um,
Dee Dee
let's
says
see.
that the pumpkin tiny pellets of Dr. Basilier are a favorite here. All right. I mean, Scotty,
I've
I've
gotten
never had Cheesecake Factory. I've never had it.
really.
I mean, we don't have one here. Also, I don't go to chain restaurants if I can help it. There's just no need.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so what was I looking at? Oh, the Basilier. I've gotten samples from Keith KJE before and fed it to fish, but like I don't haven't fed it consistently enough over a period of time to be like, oh, it's the best food ever and it does such and such for your fish. But it is edible. The fish will eat it.
I think that most fish foods are probably pretty good. I mean, unless your fish won't eat it, and then it's not good. Doesn't matter how good the
Mhm.
ingredients are if your fish won't eat it. Rainbows will eat every food. Scotty says I've lived a sheltered life because I have not eaten Cheesecake Factory. Okay.
That's ironic.
It really is.
It's quite ironical. Fish guy's place. What?
I've never heard of that. Annette says I have the urge to sprinkle fish food on a steak for Stefan like seasoning and have him eat it on stream.
I I think you should resist that urge,
That's,
please.
I mean, a steak is kind of an expensive food.
Yeah.
Why ruin an expensive food? I mean, maybe sprinkle it on toast or something that's cheap.
I mean, if you overcook the steak like medium well to well done and you can sprinkle some fish food on it, I bet a dog would absolutely love that.
Alishon says he buys flake from your fish stuff, all one word. Decent selection, and the owner Bill also supports local clubs. Okay, that's cool. So this is Fish Guy's place, and then there's your fish stuff that Alishon suggests.
Chlorella vulgaris. It's vulgar
Chlorella.
chlorella.
That's an algae. It's a
Hmm.
popular model organism for studying photosynthesis.
Bypass worn out suction cups on sponge filters. Well, what's all that? It's a DIY project.
Coro says that the live food culture place, they have lots of live foods. It's the place for vinegar eels and other cultures in the hobby.
Oh,
Coro used him way back when I had the guppy greenhouse in 2015.
duh.
Wow. I do not culture live foods. I will occasionally hatch baby brine shrimp, and that's it. I am not willing to do more than that. I'm not willing because some fucking cat's gonna knock it over and it's gonna be awful.
So this is interesting. Just on first impression, it is not set up like an e-commerce site, which may not be the intent of it because it looks like there's a lot of information about it. But like if I was just gonna go shopping, it's kind of weird because I see price lists. Let's see order.
So Geek Boy asked if it's Greg Sage, but I thought Greg Sage was Select Aquatics. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know,
I
but
think Greg Sage is Select Aquatics.
you know how to get me to never shop on your site. I
It's like
mean,
the Gemco, like you have to like call an order.
but if it's a place that comes highly recommended, like when the Wet Spot used to have their order system set up like this, then I'd be willing to try it. But like, come on,
Just makes you really appreciate like how good of a website like Dan's Fish has
yeah.
or Aquarium Co-op.
Sky says he is
Oh,
older. Yeah, okay, I get that.
yeah.
And
I like
Greg is
his little fish guy reminds me of the sea bishop. His little tummy sticking out. I like that. That's pretty great. His little socks. Oh.
that
Geek
might
voices
be in one of
call the
my
order.
nightmares
Equals
tonight.
not getting my order.
Call to order, then go pick it up in person.
And Ryan confirms that Select Aquatics is Greg Sage. I have never ordered from Select Aquatics, so
I ordered the that fertilizer, and it's fertilizer. I wish there was some more information about what was in
yeah,
it.
I wouldn't get fertilizer from them. You know, I just wouldn't get fertilizer from people who aren't plant people.
Hmm.
I mean, like you know, Nylac G, that's a good place to get your fertilizer from. Or GLA. I've gotten fertilizer from them.
Yep,
So
Nalot G, like all those liquid all in
for dry
ones.
or dry ferts if you want to
Yeah.
dose dry, which is a good way to save money. So Corawork says, which isn't Get Gills, just Dan's Fish for Hobbyists. Yes, Dan's company, which is his brother, built Get Gills, and
Yeah.
I think they make a small commission off of using it, but
Yeah,
you're
it's
only able,
a 5%, I believe,
yeah.
5% on the final.
I mean, in Aquabid, I think don't they take a commission too? I don't know. I've never sold fish on it, but it's way nicer to use than Aquabid.
It's been a couple of years since I've sold on Aquabid, but last time I did, it was over a certain, I think it was over $30 or $40. There's an optional percentage, like
Okay.
you don't even have to pay. I mean, obviously I did because it's like
Yeah.
if they're asking for it and I'm using that to make sales and they're making nothing off of me, then yeah, then
But there have been no updates to that site since I started the hobby in like 2007. Aquabid has looked the same.
yeah.
So, I
Select
mean,
Pet
I'm
says
like,
he's an
yeah. And
older
Get Gills
Killy
like
Fish
works on
guy.
its own.
Mhm. So yeah. So I
So
figured
Matt
like
says,
run by an older hobbyist guy and has his own method of communication that he prefers. Like I get that. And if it's worth it to do it that way, then I would consider it. It's just it's for me if I'm like browsing sites and I don't know anything about it, and I have a choice between online ordering with no human interaction versus like sending an email. Um, okay, Matt says do the giveaway.
Well, this is
Okay,
another thing from Matt. Matt says, "Stay tuned. I heard fishfam.link is going to have something for sellers in the future." Wow,
interesting, cool.
that's exciting. I mean, would Matt know? I mean, is he?
I think he has to ask his people
I think
about
so.
that.
I mean, I don't know if he's in on all the inside workings of fishfam.link. Yeah, let's do the
All right.
giveaway. Stewie is. Oh, he needs his
Oh,
He's
poor
a big
Stewie.
boy. He's got to go on his walk.
Okay,
Sugar Grady
so
says, I
we
started the hobby in 1972. That's awesome. I guess I technically started in about 1980. I don't know. When did we get that tank? 1983?
dang,
I was
I
pretty
was
young, though. You were
I
non existent.
was not even an embryo. I don't think I was even a thought.
I am
That
elderly, turns out. But Jake is
okay.
more elderly, so that helps. Though Eric Wyrock, he thought that Jake was younger than me. I'm like,
Ouch.
ouch. But he did think I was in my mid 30s, so that helped. He thought Jake was in his early 30s.
So what's the hashtag? 2 pair of those UP
Well, I
Tweezle
mean, I would want to
Twazzles.
do Tweezle Twazzle, but that's a tough hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag Tweezer, maybe
How about Tweezer?
Tweezer. Is this one international? Can you buy these international? I don't know.
I don't, it doesn't matter. I'll just if someone international wins, then I'll order it, have it delivered to my
Yeah,
house, and then I'll just ship it out. So yeah,
this
totally.
may take a while, but
Yeah,
uh,
totally international eligible for both. We're gonna give away 2 pair, one on Fish Fam Link and one on me. And then actually I'll go ahead and show again what those tweezers look like because people rolling in.
they're the best. I mean, I could show you what they look like right now. They look like this. They have really, really nice,
Yeah.
nice tiny points, and they're really like non-fatiguing on your hands. You don't have to exert much force to tweeze with them.
Yep.
They're really nice. Much better than the shitty tweezers I had. But don't throw out your shitty tweezers because they're good for gluing.
Yep. And there are a curved version of these if you prefer. Doesn't matter to me. I think where are they? Oh, here we go. Oh, and they're even cheaper. But yeah, whichever one you want. These apparently are Prime eligible, so they would arrive before Christmas if you're not international.
You're in a hurry, yeah.
So up to you.
Geek Boy says he has several kinds of kites, including stunt kites, foil kites, animal kites, and a small 4-line power kite. I did not know you were a kite enthusiast. I don't live in a very windy place, so I don't really see a lot of kites.
There's a lot of trees around here.
When I lived in Iowa, there were a lot more kites. Iowa is windy and more treeless.
Let's see. Greg Sage has great fish. Shipping is way high. How much is shipping? Like,
I mean, shipping like costs what it costs. Like everybody expects
yeah.
it to be cheap.
Although there are some people are like, I only ship UPS overnight, and I take it to a UPS retail location to get the label printed out, and so like it ends up costing like $80 to ship. But
Yeah.
if you use like Shippo or like Pirate Ship or something, it's a lot cheaper to use UPS shipping, and you can usually get something shipped out for like $50 overnight, depending on the weight and size and how far away the recipient is.
But like, I mean, overnight shipping, like,
It's expensive, yeah. And they're
I mean, if If it's an option for fish, I always use it. Like from Foxy and Peplin, it's not an option where they live. So
Mhm.
otherwise, I would pay for it.
Craig says, "Great to see you sending international guys a lot have been excluded us lately." Yeah, it's shipping. I mean, shipping is higher. So, but
Yeah,
anytime that I'm using, that I'm giving away something that can be shipped internationally, like it's not a plant or an animal, then or even I don't even know if you can
yeah.
fish food, but yeah,
We like to support businesses that are in the fish fam, and a lot of those are things like plant sellers or animal sellers. So
that seems insane. This price, USPS Express, $120.
yikes, that's wow, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, I will agree with that. That shipping
That is
is way
high.
high, and
I would agree with that.
he'd
That's
have to have
fine.
something that nobody else has, and I need it. Like, I really need it.
I don't need it that bad.
Yeah,
That's
like,
a lot.
I would reassess how bad I need it for sure.
Yeah. So Silver Creek says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you all, we are getting to go on our Arkansas vacation for 3 days. We're leaving Wednesday evening. Our puppy has kicked Parvo's ass.
Awesome.
Yay! Ah,
That
what a
parvo is
relief.
nasty shit
So
for a little pupper.
scary.
That's
So
good.
scary. That is wonderful news, and have fun in Arkansas. I have driven through Arkansas. I think it's a really beautiful state, but I haven't really spent any time there. We picked our vacation too. We're going to Panama. So in
So
January.
Geek says, I don't need it that bad. Boy, I have a hard time. I heard that a time or two. Yeah. Well, at least with Greg Sage, Geek, you don't have to pay for shipping. You can
I
just
mean, you could
like
just drive over there, isn't it? Like,
it would involve human interaction, which I understand that it
well,
can,
human interaction for
that-
fish, and
yeah,
I mean,
okay, yeah,
I think
got
he's
that.
probably a nice enough guy. It's not like you're having human interaction with like some asshole. I mean, it's probably not the worst.
Matt said, Eric, I see your wife found the hat you lost.
I did see
Yeah,
that.
Eric
Good job,
lost his Dan's
Tina.
fish hat.
But it has been found. What's lost has been found.
Did you happen to catch the replay
I
of the
did catch
newlywed
it.
game?
And then Jake and I talked over the questions, and we like those questions are way easier than the ones we had to do. We would have mopped the floor. We would have cleaned house with you guys.
Well, Rico said, I know Michelle is further removed from the fish keeping stuff.
Right. But even the fish
So,
questions were like, man, those are easier.
hmm,
I mean, because the tiebreaker, like, what's the biggest tank in gallons? And Jake's like, are we even
yeah,
trying here?
well, it was the
What do
tiebreaker
we
was
have
too
to
easy
do?
because like everybody got it right, so
I know.
it did not break any ties at
It did
all.
not break any ties. But it was a lot of fun to see that. It was just so nice to see everyone's supportive partners on the stream. It was
Hmm.
really nice. And it looks like people have some really great relationships. So that was
Yep,
nice.
indeed.
A lot of love.
All
Brooklyn
right.
says, I finished my Anubius ornaments. Brooklyn?
She's making a bunch of ornaments.
What?
Like,
I did not know about this. Like, send me pictures. I need to know. I need to know about this, Brooklyn. I'm excited. I love seeing things people make. I love crafts. Except that on the Discord, the crafts, it's just nothing but fucking craft beer. And I just don't care what beer you're drinking. I mean, I just do not care.
it
I
was my
don't.
fault for naming it craft
It
because,
was your fault. I
yeah.
mean, it's just like, oh wow, you bought a beer. Like, who cares? Like, should I put like, oh, I'm having a raspberry lime spindrift, or oh, I'm eating broccoli for dinner. Like, it's just
Well,
not important.
is it craft broccoli?
I don't know, is
Did you
it?
get it from a micro garden?
I mean, I did buy all of my vegetables from a local farm between like June and November. So I guess they were like craft vegetables. But I didn't post any pictures, so it doesn't count.
Damn.
Geek Boy says it was all Crypt Keeper's fault.
It was.
Fair enough.
He started it for sure.
Fair enough. Tim, if you're watching the replay, your fault.
Microgreens on the craft page incoming.
I love it, CoraWorks. I love it. I like microgreens. They're tasty. And there's such like a power shot of nutrients. Like, it's like, oh, they're so good.
All right. I want to reshare so I can share
It's
system
Eric!
audio for this.
Eric entered the giveaway for tweezers.
Yep, hashtag tweezers. And we're going to be doing 2 recipients. I'm just going to spin the wheel once for the first winner and again for the second winner. It's the wheel of you win.
Let's go.
All right, still 40. Balloons and the peace sign mean something else around here now. Did you see that part, Kelly? Yes.
Eric, oh my God. I didn't think there would be anything worse than the jizzer joke. God, Eric.
Ugh.
Oh, Eric. You are a lovable one.
Indeed. All right, I'm not seeing any more. The last one I see is Vibes, and he's on the list. So
let's go.
I think we're good. One more refresh and spin. So
time.
First winner is
Baby Shark do 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 do.
He's not even here to appreciate it.
Eric! Awesome.
Hey, you're gonna love these tweezers. They're the best.
All right. Eric wins the first one. And we'll just say that one was on Fish Fam Link.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you, Fish Fam Link. And this is why I'm a big Fish Fam Link supporter. You don't need Netflix.
Nope.
Quit Netflix. Support Fish Fam Link.
Let's see.
Next one.
Entered. I'll do one more refresh. Yep, still 40. And next one.
Night Owl Aquatics.
Night Owl Aquatics.
Yay! I don't know Night Owl yet, but Mazel Tov.
All right. And so, yeah, I mentioned before the giveaway that there is a curved and a straight version. So just send me an email at StephenP2003@fishfam.link and let me know which one you want. And also your address.
Crappy tweezers. So they're gonna rock your world.
Yeah.
You don't know how much easier your life can be with good tweezers. I was shocked because I thought, oh, tweezers are tweezers. No, not the case. Good tweezers make a difference.
I've tried different ones. There's also those Fluval ones that have the little grips on them, and I thought I might like those, but the problem with grips is like they don't stop gripping.
Yeah,
they keep gripping. So you shove it in the substrate, and then you think that you've separated them, and then you pull out, and everything comes with it.
Yeah, good tweezers. It just makes it so easy to plant, and you can plant fast.
Yeah.
Like when you watch Green Aqua, and they're like, to plant, you're like, how do they do that? Well, they have good tweezers. So
I'm pretty fast with my fingers, though, except when it comes to like a nano tank. And
some things I do plant with my fingers. Like I planted all this foreground here with my fingers. It just worked better. It just depends. Some things I plant with my fingers. But.
And Scotty will be ready for his stream in about 5 minutes.
All right. So everybody head on to Scotty's. And thank you, everyone. Next week, hopefully we'll have Myrtle back.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is finals week for Myrtle or if it's next week. We got to find out. But he had a study group tonight, and studying is important.
Indeed.
So, but thank you to our mods. And thank you, everyone, for your questions. Thank you, lurkers and replay crew. And I don't know, is there anyone else?
I think we got it.
I think we got it. Yeah.
Cool. Then,
we'll see you
yeah.
next week.
See you next week.
Bye. Bye.